Third speaker, Arnie Bus. Listen. Listen. Arnie Bus.
Listen. If you want to be heard, listen. If you want to be heard, listen. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and wonderful guests. There's a saying that we've been given 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we should listen twice as much as we speak. So if you really want to communicate, start by listening. And that's a very strange thing to be coming from a Toastmaster. In Toastmasters, we don't listen, we speak. Toastmasters is all about learning how to be more effective speakers. I'm telling you that the single most important thing you can do to improve your communication skills with other human beings is to learn to listen. Most breakdowns in communication come not from an inability to speak, from being too inarticulate, but from an inability to listen. And I'm talking about relationships of all kinds. Relationships with a partner, relationships with a friend, relationship between groups, between management and labor, between different political parties, different political beliefs, between different religions, between different nations. The problem today is not that people don't speak, but that they don't listen. To paraphrase St. Francis, we should seek first to understand and then be understood. And we can't fully be understood until we understand. And so we should seek to listen first. We should walk a mile in the other person's shoes, especially when there's a problem. And that's not because at the end of it they're a mile away and barefoot. But we should walk with them and understand why they're walking and where they're walking to. In fact, in Toastmasters, much of what we do is all about listening. When we're evaluators, we listen. When we're doing table topics, we have to listen carefully to the question. When we try to speak with others when there's a problem, there's usually something that we want them to understand. And I'm saying, and so our response is, we keep trying to say what we want to say to them louder and louder, and they still don't hear us. Why? Because they don't feel that we have heard them first. So if your partner says, when you ask them, what's wrong? They say, nothing. You say, okay, well, they said nothing. Or, are you okay? I'm fine. When they say they're fine, they're not fine. When they say there's nothing wrong, there's something wrong. So we need to listen beneath the words to the underlying feelings. So one day my wife comes home, she says, you never take me anywhere. So I wanted her to understand, what do you mean I don't take you anywhere? We just went to the movies last week. I mean, I take you all kinds of places. Somehow that didn't work. I don't know why. Well, now I do, at the time. It worked because I wasn't listening to her. I didn't hear what her pain was. She was expressing something to me, and I didn't hear it. So my buddies say, well, don't let her walk over you like that. Don't be a wuss. So next time she brought it up, she said, you know, we just never go anywhere. I said, well, you know, if you made a little more money, then we could afford to go to all these great places. You can imagine how that worked. So that was listening even less. That was counterattacking. Now, how many times when we hear a criticism, does the first thing we do is counterattack or be defensive? So I say, well, if we're defensive, then we're making ourselves wrong. If we counterattack, we're making them wrong. In neither case are we communicating. In neither case are we establishing a wonderful relationship. What should we listen for? We should listen for what the underlying feelings are, not just the words. Because when someone says they're fine, they're not fine. There's something being expressed there. Hear the feelings underneath. Hear the wants, the unmet needs that are being expressed. They're telling you what they feel and what they want when they say it. So listening isn't about being quiet and only hearing. Listening is about letting the other person know that you've heard what they have said. So the final time, when she came home and said, you just never take me anywhere. And so you really want to spend more quality time together. You want to go out and do things. You want to be together. You want to have wonderful experiences. He said, yeah. So it really works. When you want to be heard, listen. When you hear criticism, listen. When you feel attacked, listen. When you have something to say, start by listening. Seek first to understand and then be understood. Listen. Mr. Toastmaster.